Father Frank Pavone, well, he's just on our show last week, and well, there's some big news out, folks. Frank Pavone, a strong pro-life leader and Trump supporter, has been dismissed from the Catholic priesthood for what they call blasphemous social media posts and disobedience. Perhaps there's more than what meets the eye. Joining us now is the priest for life, National Director, Father Frank Pavone. Father Frank, last week, a couple of days we were talking to you about, I can't remember, but here we are over the weekend. I open up Daily Mail and I see your top story up there and you've been defrocked. Tell us what happened and why you think this happened.
Well, Eric, this has been a 21-year battle. Some in the church, some bishops feel threatened by our work at Priests for Life. They shouldn't be. We're educating priests how to speak on abortion. We're overseeing the world's largest ministry for healing those who've had abortions. We're helping elect pro-life candidates. We're helping the Holy See. We're helping the Holy Father at the United Nations. We're helping the Vatican Secretariat of State deal with abortion internationally. We're at the heart of the church. And yet, some bishops feel threatened by our success, our growth, our influence. So years ago, Eric, they tried to get me out of the work of Priests for Life by saying you have to go back and do work in a parish. I respectfully said, but this is my vocation as a pro-life leader. Can't I stay and do this? And I made the case strongly enough that they let me continue doing it. And then they tried to discredit the ministry by raising vague accusations about finances. But we shot that down, too, because we gave them clean audits. So finally, they said, if we can't take Father Frank out of Priests for Life and we can't take Priests for Life away from Father Frank, maybe we have to take the Father away from Frank. And so that's what they're doing now. This is not about any of their complaints about blasphemous comments. We've been through this for 21 years. They've been using all different excuses, Eric, along the way, and I've outlined it all on my website for people to see. This is about control, and it's also about political ideology. It's the cancel culture in the church. It's what they're doing to President Trump in the political arena. They're even doing to certain priests within the church.
Father, I'm still calling you Father. I'm a Catholic and born and raised Catholic. I'm calling you Father because I believe it's who you are, not who you're associated with. Father,
Thank you.
You say there are a couple of things. Is there a Trump effect because you've been strong pro-Trump voice? You think there's something there? Yes. And you also at one point had said, I read, that you believe that most or a lot of Catholic priests are Democrats. You think that has something to do with it? Tell us.
Oh, yes, they've told us that at the Vatican, some at the Vatican. Listen, we have some big support at the Vatican. In fact, Pope Francis has personally met with me several times and encouraged my work, which makes this act so strange. But the concern some of them have about my support for President Trump, they have told me that explicitly. They've told me to back away from that. And I have respectfully said, no, he's the most pro-life president we've had in our history. I'm going to continue to support and serve him. And I said to them, furthermore, you should be thanking him, not only for what he's done for the unborn, but for what he's done for the freedom of the church. You should be thanking him. I've said this to the highest officials in the church. So it's like when they say I've been disobedient, you know, if they mean I didn't walk away from pro-life work when they told me to, if they mean, you know, I didn't back away from supporting President Trump, well, then yeah, but there's no basis for telling me not to do those things.
You know, Father, I only have about half a minute or so. You know, with all the things that are going on right now, the church is bleeding parishioners, followers. There's so many scandals that we've talked about. I went to a Jesuit high school. I know about all the scandals. To defrock a very strong pro-life priest, this just doesn't make sense. Why don't they concentrate some of the other things that they have plenty of things that they could probably be concentrating on instead of you, right, Father?
That's right. And there's also a simple solution in my case. Put me under a more favorable bishop. That proposal has been submitted to the Holy Father. And, you know, the people are going to continue to support me, not because the bishops tell them to, but because they know the work is good. Let's save these children. Let's heal the wounds. Let's elect pro-life candidates. Let's end abortion in America.
All right, Father Frank Pavone, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate your time today. Be safe, my friend. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Thank you.